Hello, welcome to Village Square once again. We again have with us some very interesting people who have a deep connection with rural India to share their insights and experiences with us. We have Asha Gond, the skater girl, and we have Ulrike, the person behind the skater girl. Asha, we'll start with you. You have been a skater girl. You are known as the India skater girl now. What has been the journey like? How many years has it been?
Almost 9 years.
Uh-huh. How
I
old were
started.
you? Yeah,
I was 16
then
years
you
old when I
started.
started skateboarding, and it was not easy to continue this to do skateboarding because of the people in the village. They were not able to accept that a girl is going to a skate park and she is doing skateboarding with the boys.
So, Ulrike, if I can ask you, how did your journey to India begin?
There was no plan from my side, to come to India to do anything like we did. There was no plan. It just happened. So my idea was, I go to Delhi to this conference and I fly out of Mumbai and I have 2 weeks in between and I see a little bit from the countryside. This music and dance festival was still going on in Khajuraho, so I thought I'll go there. And I arrived late in the evening. The hotel had canceled my room, so everything was booked in Khajuraho. I had the driver driving around, and I ended up in a small little family hotel. And yeah, with this family, I came in touch, and they somehow planted the idea in my mind to build a school. So I thought, why me? This was actually the reason why I kept coming back to the area.
So, and then from opening a school, how did a skateboarding training institute come about?
We worked together with this family in Khajuraho, a friend of mine from a German friend of mine, but living in New York. We were trying to figure out what we could do with this family in Khajuraho. After a couple of months, it turned out we can't do anything with them. So we left. So I came back a few months later and then I started traveling around. And maybe 2 years later or so, another friend, took me to Janvar when we were discussing, maybe we can do something. And then it turned out there is a guy who owns some land. And this is what brought me to Janvar. If the land would have been in any other village, I would have ended up in the other village. So it was coincidence. But it took about 2 years at least.
But were you interested in skateboarding even before that?
No. Okay. No.
So, how did that idea sort of come up?
It comes from my background being an economist and having worked, in the field of corporate culture. So for me, the village was, at the end of the day, nothing more, nothing less than a corporation. It was a closed entity. And I truly believe when you want to drive real change, you need to change the culture of the place. With culture, I mean the way people are thinking, the way people are acting. So I thought when you have this very closed entity as an Indian village where basically nothing comes in and nothing goes out. It's very, very close, very, very traditional. I mean, Asha probably would have been married now, if the skate park wouldn't have arrived. It's really traditional. I mean, I don't need to tell you. Uh, and then when you put skateboarding on the other side of the spectrum, it's a counterculture to the village. Skateboarding has everything such an Indian village does not have. You know, skateboarding is all about finding your own way. It's about being rebellious. It's about, falling down, getting up. It's about finding your own way. It's everything a girl and even a boy is not really allowed to think or to dream or to do in such a village. So I thought if I bring these two things together and do a kind of open heart surgery, meaning it's an open space, the skate park, there is no fence, everyone can come, then something will happen. I was sure that something would happen, but I didn't have any expectations what would happen. We just let it play out, and a lot of things happened.
So was Asha one of the first students that you had?
We did a summer camp where we invited all the kids in the village. And we did this for 6 weeks. We had a program in the morning, early morning hours, because it was really boiling hot, and later in the afternoon. And the number of kids who were coming was really increasing. At the end, we had sometimes 100, 120 kids.
How tough was it, Asha, to begin skateboarding? Did you fall a lot?
Yes, I do. I did, and I still fall.
Okay. And yet you kept at it. Were you really, really hooked to it?
Yeah, I mean, if there's something, if there's some trick I really want to do, then I'm definitely gonna fall because I don't know how to, do that. So to understand the balance and how to like move my feet or how to balance my body. So yeah, definitely I'm gonna fall.
But I mean, that did not deter you. You still kept at it.
Yes, because the skateboarding was something I really love, and that was something when I first actually felt that I want this. I want to do this. So yeah.
But like Ulrike said, were you from the very beginning looking at your future as a young married woman? Was that
Yes.
conditioned?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because as I have seen my sister, my cousin sister, and other girls in the village, I mean, everyone was just like when they are being around 13, 15, they all were just getting married. So I was also thinking that it's like, yeah, close.
But you were 16 when you started skateboarding. Were your parents already looking for, a group for
They
you?
were thinking, especially my grandparents. I have big brothers. They are elder than me. So this was also kind of thing my parents used to talk. First, we will get married our son, and then we'll do, because my sister already get married. She
Okay.
was smaller than my brothers.
Okay.
So these were also the things, and like luckily skateboarding came before they start. But yeah, but when I started doing skateboarding and the villagers start complaining to my parents that I'm skating with the boys, and then they start forcing me to get married.
So what was it very tough for you? Was it a very challenging time to convince your parents,
Yeah.
to, have your own stand against all the villagers, against all the opposing voices?
Yeah, it was hard, and I at the same time I don't wanted that, so I used to talk to my mother that I don't want to get married yet. So sometimes she was always my side to support me, and she just used to say let her study for one more year and after that we'll see. So yeah, and then so with that I also had the chance with skateboard to do something. I mean, that was I wanted to do that, and also I start thinking for the reason so that I can show to my parents that this is why I don't want to get married. And yeah, slowly I also started working with the kids, and start getting the opportunity to go out.
What are the competitions you've participated in?
I have participated in nationals as well, and I also have been in China, Nanjing, for the Skateboarding Championship. And yeah,
So how was the experience in China?
so in China, yeah, it was good. I was little afraid.
That was your first visit outside India? Was that your first visit to a foreign country?
Was second.
Second. And first was where?
First was in London.
But besides language, normally the other thing that people, who have traveled abroad, especially to China, the difficulties is food.
I have heard from many people like the Chinese people, they just eat anything. And yeah, I didn't try their non-veg and nothing.
You didn't, huh?
I didn't. I always used to eat vegetables. The coach was went with us to China. He used to eat anything, but I was afraid, so I didn't try
But next
even.
time you go, will you try?
I don't know. I don't know.
uh, Ulrike, Asha has told us about all the challenges that she faced. So these opposition would have come your way also from the villagers?
Yeah, of course. I mean, when you run such a project or any kind of change project, you will never please all the people. So there is always, a few who will say, what is this good for? Uh, so I'm pretty much used to this, and I didn't have any expectations that people would all come and embrace me. So it's a quite normal thing when you do new things that everyone is making mistakes, that you really enter new territory, so you don't know what is coming. So we basically took it day by day.
8 years later, are you very much a part of the community now?
Uh, Not so much anymore because I had to leave for COVID, and then they rejected my visa 3 times over 4 years.
So now who handles all the operations? Is Asha the person in charge of training other students and running the academy?
I mean, yes, I am, and Anil is also there, and other kids. So we all, work together. I mean, if I we need help, so like we just help to each other, and the yeah, I mean, we all are just working together. And I'm as from Ulrike, I'm also trying to learn many things.
So what is the journey ahead? You're saying that you're just now on a short-term visit here. So what are the plans that you have in mind?
It's not really short term. I'm here 3 months.
Mhm.
So I published a book, Skater Girl Asha, which allowed me, I've written this last year, to, it was some kind of reflection for myself since I couldn't come back. I was thinking, what have you been doing and what was good, what was not so good. And then at some point, when you do these things, you need to tell a story. So I thought I'd take Asha as the key figure in this book, how difficult it is sometimes for a single person, especially a girl in this area, to do what she wants to do. Uh, it's not only difficult because the parents say no, or the villagers become rude, or the boys are simply acting insane. There are also self doubts, what am I doing? Am I the one who is somehow weird, or are the others weird? So it was also this journey where we had many, many, many conversations to show that once a girl, in this case in India, but it certainly holds true for other parts in the world as well, wants to live her own life, uh, it's possible. I mean, Asha has the freedom of her parents and everything, so really hats off to her parents. Even her parents were, looking back, more important actually than Asha herself. But she can now live the way she wants to live, which sometimes comes as a surprise. Uh, so it's this kind of story that when you make up your mind that I want to do something, then you can do it. That's it. With all the zigzag, which is there, but you can do it. And this is always better than just following other people's advice.
So is the book out in the market?
Yes.
What's its titled?
Skater Girl Asha,
Skater
When
Girl
You
Asha.
Dare to Dream.
And is it available online?
It's available online. Unfortunately, here in India, they don't do print on demand. So here it's only ebook.
What does the road ahead look for you now, Asha? What do you want to do?
I would love to see two girls to come up and come out from their comfort zone and speak loud and stand up for themselves. And don't like follow such a stupid rules we were in the event in the morning. There were some girls, I have spoken with them, and like so we were just talking after the event. There were 4 girls, and I just asked them. So like they were saying that I was very afraid before, and I didn't know what to say, and so I just asked them, so how do you feel now after you speak up? So she was saying, now I'm feeling very light. So these are the things, like very small things, which I think all the girls should have that confidence in themselves to confront and say. And some of them were afraid, like one was saying, like, I was afraid that I might say wrong or right. So these things, I mean, there's nothing wrong and right. Even if you say something wrong, there's also a good thing, so that you will learn something about it.
There's been a lot of change that has come within you. Has it changed? How do you say it has changed your family, your parents, your grandparents? How has it impacted them?
I remember when I was a little, I mean, child, there were so many problems. Like, we even didn't have had enough food at our home to eat. And
So, what was your family occupation? What were your parents doing then?
like before my father, he was not working. My mother was the one who used to work.
What
as
was
a
she doing?
labor work and at farms.
Okay.
So that was a like difficult condition for her to feed the 4 kids, and also my father and sometimes my grandfathers as well.
And
With
you
that time-
belong to the Gaunt community, which is a tribal community. So, again, was there a lot of discrimination in the village?
Yes, there is still. I mean, not like before. But still there is. There's like Yadav and Adivasi, so I cannot go inside their kitchen.
Kitchen.
Yeah, kitchen. Before it was just like was not able to. I mean, it was before that we cannot talk to even each other. Even the kids was not used to talk, and we used to sit in school, but we always had to maintain the distance between us. So this change came like since the skateboarding came there. So kids had everyone liked to do skateboarding. All the kids in the village. So all used to meet at the skate park, and no one had their personal skateboards. So we all have to share their skateboards. So this was the thing from where they started to talking, like, if I want to skate, then I'll come to you and ask for the skateboard. So yeah, this was the startup. And now I have really good friends from Yadav caste as well, and we talk, we also hang out sometime to Panna, and we eat together. And also the villagers, they are kind of okay with that now.
Till what class have you studied?
12th.
Have you
Yeah, I have
cleared
Yeah,
12th?
Asha was a school dropout when we met.
Yeah.
So
After
she
that.
restarted school, and we ran one of the projects which came from the skate park. We called the Open School Project, where we brought Adivasi and Yadav kids together here to Delhi, actually, to a school in Noida, and we ran a 2-year program. And they all finished under the NIOS 12th grade. So skateboarding also brought her back to school.
So, is your mother happy now to see? Of course, she would be happy, but how has it again made her life easy?
Nowadays, like, if I see my family, like, we all are just happy together. With whatever we have, we do not expect a lot from no one. We are just happy with the little things. And
And you're continuing with the skateboarding.
yes.
Can you do somersaults now?
What?
Somersaults, like they do all those
Tricks,
tricks. Yeah.
Yeah. To do a kickflip, it took me 3 years.
Okay, I don't know what a kickflip is, but that sounds great.
Kickflip, and it's a like kickflip. I had to do the jump, and my board is just flipping, and I'm dropping back on my board. So, but yeah, for that, like 3 years, and I have rolled my ankle 3 times actually to do that.
And any new tricks that you're learning now?
Right now, I'm practicing for heel flip.
Okay. And what is heel flip?
Heel flip just like opposite to kick flip.
Okay. Okay, best of luck with the kick flip. Thank you so much, Asha, Ulrike, for your time and this lovely story that you've shared with us. And best of luck to you. Best of luck to you, Asha, for taking the venture ahead and empowering more village girls and boys to explore new avenues.